Hello there, I'm Dr. Joshua Kolawole. I'm a global transformational leadership trainer. And I want to come today to talk to you about transformational relationships. And I hope you would take your time to listen and listen to the end. Thank you so much for joining this live session, or at least listening to it even much more later. So, when we talk about transformational relationship, we want a relationship that moves you from a certain level to a significantly higher level. So we want that quality of relationship where you leverage the advantages in the relationship and even sometimes the challenges in the relationship to drive you to a higher level. In most cases, there's an adage in the southwestern part of Nigeria where I came from, which says that if two people enter into a room and they have a discussion and each other comes out frowning their faces, they most likely have told themselves the truth. But if they come out laughing, they probably didn't touch each other's tensed area. The goal of every transformational relationship is to ensure that we're able to have excellent conversations in truth and in love. That's critical in every relationship, such that ultimately it leads to appreciation between parties in the relationship. But today, my focus on the key factors for transformational relationship will be three things. Those three things would revolve around a backdrop of assuming that we are in a relationship where we tell each other the truth, where there's transparency. So the first thing you should establish in any relationship is transparency, telling each other the truth, being honest, getting into the relationship with integrity. Let your word be your bond. So when you say, I hear this, that at individual level, character matters. At organizational level, culture matters. So for you as a person, your character is solid. But in your organization, you also have built a culture of transparency, a culture of honesty, a culture of integrity, a culture that brings intelligence and integrity together to make things happen. So when we have established that backdrop, then we can now go ahead and say, how do we leverage this relationship to become transformational? You know, they say all progress comes with a backdrop of truth, telling each other the truth, accepting the truth that is being told to each other or amongst one another. Because when truth is being shared and one of us revolts or does not want to accept it, and you start turning it into a subjective truth, a radical form of truth, then there's a challenge in that kind of relationship. And the chances of it becoming transformational is already getting minimized. So the goal, the ideal for every relationship that will transform themselves is that it is based on the foundation of truth, on the foundation of transparency, on the foundation of integrity, on the foundation of solid character. So when we have established that, then I would now say three things are crucial if you want to engage on transformational relationship. Three things: you must be ready to give, you must be ready to be grateful, and more importantly, you must be ready to give, you must be ready to be grateful, and more importantly, you must be ready to grow. There's a price to giving, there's a price to being grateful, and there's a price to growing. Now we have a foundation of truth. I now want to establish the concept of giving in any transformative relationship. If you want relationship transformational, then you should not expect it to be a transactional scenario. In transactional scenario, if I give you $50, I expect an equivalent of $50 back, either in food, in clothing, in something else. And that's the kind of relationship a lot of people want to enter into, maybe between husband and wife. They want a balanced form of relationship where if I give, so it's like a tit for tat. If you do me evil, I do you evil back. If you do me good, I do you good back. As long as that is the foundation and backdrop for you going into a relationship, then you will never be able to transform that relationship, that one, and that relationship will never be able to transform the outcomes that will come out of your life. Someone once asked me, give me an example of a transformational relationship. Let's paint a scenario. So this example comes to mind very quickly. There's this coach and a young boy who is playing football at college level, and college in this case is like maybe the university level. And so the coach called him one day and said, let's just use Collins as his name, hypothetically. So the coach called him and said, do you consider playing football at a professional level? That was a solid questioning of assumption. And You see, playing football at the college level and playing football at the professional level, it's world apart. It requires a new level of truth, new level of discipline, new level of food, new level of training material. It might even require you changing your coach, changing the access, the quality of people around you. So playing football at different levels requires a new level of truth and realization that needs to come to bear. So because of this, it became much more important for them to tell themselves the truth. But in terms of giving, the guy has to first embrace the truth, and then the second part is that the coach was willing to give all, to the point that at a point he needed to even sacrifice himself to pass the boy on to another coach who trains at professional level. That is a giving where the coach sacrificed 100% of his influence to pass him on to another person. It's not uncommon for people to want to hold you down once they think they are a coach or a mentor over you. When you see that the quality of your influence is getting wind off over a person, you can pass them on to another better person who would help them more. So you don't have to be their coach for life or mentor for life or something. So what I'm saying as an example is giving does not have to be money alone. Giving can also be that giving up yourself to be able to help someone become better. That is, sometimes you may even have to sacrifice removing yourself from that person's life, such that the pain and the challenges of getting that person to understand would force them and push them to become a better person. So the idea is this: giving requires a lot. It requires you going above and beyond. That is, you think ahead of the scenario and you think about what are the things I can use to enhance the capacity of this person. So the idea for a transformational kind of relationship that I want you to do is to give 100%, 100-0. So you're giving 100% of yourself in a relationship. If something comes, fine. If it doesn't come, you should not worry. You should be matured enough to understand that the reason why you are involved in this relationship and you want it to be transformational is because you appreciate the value of going into a relationship and making it transformational for people. So you go above and beyond for people, giving 100% of yourself and not expecting anything. If something comes, fine, embrace it with gratitude. And that's going to be our next point. But before I jump there, I also want you to know that embracing with gratitude comes with a different skill, with a different attitude, with a different level of faith, and with a different level of experience. So when you give and you are grateful about the giving, then it takes the giving to a higher and a new level. So you must be committed to giving yourself. Gratitude is a skill, like I said, you must learn it. You should be grateful before, during, and after anything happens. You should stay in gratitude mode. That's the learning curve. And that keeps you in a place of peace and joy because you're not entitled. We live in a generation where people are more expressive and entitled to anything. At this point, I would expect you to be solid and not be an entitled being. No one owes you anything on earth, and life is not fair. I think was Bill Gates' statement. You should get used to that by now. So the idea is that whatever life hands over to you, if life gives you a lemon, make a lemonade out of it. And if it gives you a sweet apple, then make an apple juice out of it. Whatever comes, make sure you make the best of it. That's going to define excellence ultimately for you. So we will not compare Mr. A with Mr. B. We will compare Mr. A's today with Mr. A's tomorrow. That is the idea. So it's the growth, the excellence is about comparing Mr. A's initial performance to his future performance. So, and that's the key idea. Then the third thing is growing. The concept of growth requires you to shatter a fixed mindset. A fixed mindset is the mindset that wants to hold you to your past. You must understand that the concept of past, present, and future is an interplay. It's not like a time-bounded scenario. In your mind, the three are mixed together. And that's why you have to be careful, because your past can actually be the function that is holding you down, preventing you from launching into a greater and transformational tomorrow. So whatever it is, you must learn to move ahead, move beyond, forgive fast. In fact, forgive offenses ahead of time and forgive fast. Forgive fast. If you don't forgive fast, then your past will be responsible for holding you down to prevent you from a transformational future. So what do we achieve today? We're achieving three things. The fact that for a transformational relationship to happen, you need a foundation of truth, transparency, honesty, integrity, character in that relationship. Upon that foundation, three things must be built. You must build the attitude of giving and giving 100%. You must build the attitude of being grateful. being in the state of gratitude all the days of your life. And then the third one is growing. And then the third thing now, lesson is that in growing, you must be ready to shatter a fixed mindset. You must understand that your past could be responsible for holding you down and preventing you from making that massive leap that leads on to transformation. My joy, my passion is to see you getting transformed. Please go after that transformation, because your future, your generation depends on transformation, not just mere marginal increase. You need transformation. You need massive change in your outcomes, in your culture, in your processes. That is what will make the difference. Thank you for listening. Bye.